You deserve to be beautiful, Mama. You deserve to be beautiful. You deserve to be beautiful.
I know that I deserve to be beautiful. I am beautiful. I'm indigenous. I am beautiful.
Do you remember what you used to look like?
I'm Indian, Tonantzin. I know that I deserve for you to just calm down and stay grounded. Yourself out.
Okay, Mama.
I'll help you. You want me to help you?
Yes, I promise you will sleep tonight.
You gotta sleep.
Yes.
Every night.
Yes, every night. Infinitely, infinitely,
Not
infinitely,
infinitely. You gotta
infinitely,
wake up with
infinitely,
the sun.
infinitely, infinitely. I will, Mom. I will.
On January 8th, 2024, in the quiet town of San Rafael, California, a tragedy unfolded that would captivate and horrify the nation. Tonantzin Oris Beltran, a 28-year-old woman with a troubled past, was live streaming from a car alongside her mother, 55-year-old Olivia Lucia Beltran Pacheco. What began as a heated discussion escalated into a moment that would change their lives forever. Within hours, one of them was gone, and the other faced a future behind bars, or perhaps in a mental health facility. This isn't just a story of a crime. It's a story of a mother and daughter, bound by love, but torn apart by pain, trauma, and a system that failed them. Stick with me as we dive into one of the most gripping and devastating stories ever captured in real time.
To understand what happened on that fateful day in San Rafael, we need to know the two women at the heart of this tragedy: Olivia Lucia Beltran Pacheco and her daughter, Tonantzin Oris Beltran. Olivia, 55, was a force of nature in Marin County. A single mother and fierce activist, she dedicated her life to fighting for the voiceless, undocumented workers, LGBTQ+ rights, tenants, indigenous communities, and even animals. Her youngest daughter, Tonantzin, described her as someone who poured her heart into helping others, especially her children. But Olivia's biggest challenge was supporting Tonantzin, her eldest daughter, who struggled with demons that would ultimately tear their family apart. Tonantzin, 28 at the time, was a young woman haunted by her past. She claimed she and her sister faced abuse as children, pointing to a man she called Benji Rodriguez as the source of her trauma. Whether these claims were fully true remains unclear, but they consumed her. She spoke of using drugs as a self-medicating bandage, starting with alcohol as young as age 4. By 2024, Tonantzin was spiraling, posting erratic videos online, reaching out to people she believed resembled her abuser, and, according to some, even planning to confront them. Olivia tried desperately to pull her daughter back from the edge, pleading with her to let go of the pain and live her life. Their relationship was a mix of love and tension, a mother fighting to save her daughter, and a daughter wrestling with wounds that wouldn't heal. January 8th, 2024, started like any other day in San Rafael, California, but for Tonantzin Oris Beltran and her mother, Olivia Lucia Beltran Pacheco, it would end in a tragedy that no one saw coming. The morning began with tension, captured in a series of social media posts that hinted at the storm brewing between mother and daughter. Tonantzin, 28, was already unraveling, her mind consumed by past traumas and a growing obsession with confronting those she believed had wronged her. She and Olivia, 55, were together in a parked car, where Tonantzin began live streaming on Facebook, a decision that would broadcast their private pain to the world. The stream started with an argument, raw and unfiltered. Tonantzin accused her mother of failing to protect her and her sister from a man she named Benji Rodriguez, who she claimed abused them as children. Her voice was sharp, her emotions raw, as she relived moments of pain she couldn't let go. Olivia, seated in the driver's seat, tried to stay calm, her seatbelt still on, her voice trembling as she responded. "If I had known what was happening, I would have left him," she pleaded. "I believe you, Tony. I'm so sorry. Please let it go." But Tonantzin couldn't, or wouldn't. The argument escalated, with Tonantzin lunging forward, grabbing her mother's hair, yanking her head back. Olivia cried out, "Tansy, you're hurting me. You're hurting my ear." This wasn't just a fight. It was a glimpse into Tonantzin's breaking point, a moment where her pain turned into something darker. Earlier that day, the two had visited the Santa Rosa police station, trying to retrieve an impounded car. Tonantzin filmed there too, posting videos on TikTok that showed her growing agitation. An officer noticed her erratic behavior, warning that she seemed unfit to drive. Olivia promised to keep her from getting behind the wheel, a decision that seemed to anger Tonantzin further. In one video, she flashed a pocket knife, a chilling foreshadowing of what was to come. Family members later said this was a missed chance for intervention, a moment where authorities could have placed Tonantzin on a 72-hour mental health hold, potentially changing the day's outcome. Instead, the pair returned home to their apartment in the Terra Linda neighborhood. By 5 p.m., the situation had spiraled out of control. Tonantzin started another Facebook live stream, this time from their apartment. What happened next was so shocking that viewers and neighbors began flooding 911 with calls. When police arrived, they found a scene straight out of Nightmare. Tonantzin on the balcony, covered in blood, still clutching a knife. Inside, on the living room floor, Olivia lay unresponsive, stabbed multiple times in the chest. Paramedics rushed her to the hospital, but it was too late. Olivia was gone. This moment, captured in real time, marked the end of a mother's life and the beginning of a legal and emotional firestorm that would grip the nation. The scene at the Terra Linda apartment on January 8, 2024, was one of unimaginable horror. When San Rafael police arrived, just after 5 p.m., they found 28-year-old Tonantzin Orris Beltran standing on the balcony, her clothes drenched in blood, a knife still in her hand. Inside, her mother, 55-year-old Olivia Lucia Beltran Pacheco, lay on the living room floor, stabbed multiple times in the chest. Despite the efforts of paramedics, Olivia couldn't be saved. She was pronounced dead at the hospital, leaving behind a devastated family and a community in shock. Tonantzin was arrested on the spot, charged with murder, and taken to Marin County Jail, where she's been held without bail ever since. But this wasn't just another crime scene. It was the aftermath of a tragedy broadcast live on Facebook, watched by strangers and loved ones alike, who frantically called 911 as the horror unfolded. The live stream, which Meta quickly removed at the police's request, became a critical piece of evidence, offering a raw, unfiltered look into Tonantzin's state of mind. Investigators dug into her social media history, uncovering a trail of erratic posts, videos on TikTok and Facebook where she ranted about past traumas, including her claims of childhood abuse by a man she called Benji Rodriguez. Some posts hinted at her obsession with tracking down people she believed resembled her abuser, a fixation that her mother, Olivia, had begged her to abandon. The investigation revealed more than just the events of that day. Family members, including Tonantzin's younger sister, Tonudiu, spoke of her long struggle with mental health and substance abuse, which began in childhood. They described Olivia's tireless efforts to get her daughter help, navigating a system that often fell short. The Santa Rosa police station visit earlier that day, where an officer noted Tonantzin's erratic behavior, became a focal point. Why wasn't she detained for a mental health evaluation? Could a 72-hour hold have stopped this tragedy? These questions haunted both the family and the public. Meanwhile, Marin County mourned Olivia, a beloved activist whose work had touched countless lives. Tributes poured in, painting a picture of a woman who fought for justice, yet couldn't save her own daughter from her inner demons. As police pieced together the timeline, the community grappled with grief and anger, wondering how a mother-daughter bond so full of love could end in such violence. The case was no longer just about a crime. It was about a family broken by pain and a system that failed to intervene. With Olivia Lucia Beltran Pacheco gone and Tonantzin Orris Beltran in custody, the focus shifted to the courtroom, where a complex legal battle began to unfold. Tonantzin, now 28, faced a murder charge that could send her to prison for life. But in March 2024, she entered a not guilty plea, and by September, her defense took a dramatic turn. Not guilty by reason of insanity. This plea wasn't just a legal strategy. It was a claim that Tonantzin's actions on January 8, 2024, were driven by a mind so fractured that she couldn't understand what she was doing or distinguish right from wrong. In California, proving insanity is no easy task. The law requires clear evidence that a mental illness prevented the defendant from comprehending the nature of their act, a high bar that's rarely met. By April 2025, A mental health evaluation deemed Tonenson competent to stand trial, meaning she could understand the proceedings and assist in her defense. But competency to stand trial isn't the same as sanity at the time of the crime, and her attorney, Matthew Soroka, pushed for psychiatric evaluations to support the insanity plea. If successful, Tonenson could be sent to a state mental health facility instead of prison, potentially for years of treatment. The legal fight brought Tonenson's mental health history into sharp focus. Family members revealed she'd battled severe mental illness and substance abuse for years, starting with alcohol at age 4. She once described drugs as her self-medicating bandage, a desperate attempt to numb the pain of childhood trauma she attributed to a man named Benji Rodriguez. Her social media posts, rants, confessions, and cryptic messages about tracking down predators painted a picture of a woman spiraling deeper into crisis. Her sister, Tonediu, and others argued that the system had failed Tonenson, pointing to missed opportunities like the Santa Rosa police encounter hours before the tragedy. Why wasn't she hospitalized? Why didn't the mental health system catch her before it was too late? These questions fueled debates in and out of the courtroom. Meanwhile, the prosecution built a case around the live stream, arguing it showed premeditation and intent, not just a spontaneous breakdown. The Marin County community, still grieving Olivia, was divided. Some demanded justice for a beloved activist, while others saw Tonenson as a victim of her own broken mind. As the next hearing loomed on May 14, 2025, the case raised bigger questions. Can the legal system balance accountability with compassion? And what does justice look like when mental illness is at the heart of a crime? As the legal battle over Tonenson Orris Beltran's fate continues, the tragedy of January 8, 2024, leaves behind more than just a courtroom drama. It leaves a grieving community, a fractured family, and questions that strike at the heart of our society. Olivia Lucia Beltran Pacheco wasn't just a victim. She was a 55-year-old mother, a tireless activist who fought for the marginalized in Marin County. Her work for undocumented workers, LGBTQ+ rights, tenants, and indigenous communities made her a beacon of hope. Her youngest daughter, Tonediu, called her a warrior who never gave up on her children, especially Tonenson, despite the toll it took. Olivia's death wasn't just a loss for her family. It was a blow to everyone she inspired. Tributes flooded in, with vigils and memorials honoring her legacy, but they also carried a painful truth. Even someone as devoted as Olivia couldn't save her daughter from the darkness that consumed her. Tonenson's story forces us to confront uncomfortable realities about mental health in America. Her struggles, substance abuse starting at age 4, unresolved trauma from alleged childhood abuse, and a descent into obsession, weren't just personal failures. They were signs of a system that didn't do enough. The missed chance for a mental health hold at the Santa Rosa police station, the lack of consistent care for her documented mental illness, and the ease with which she broadcast or break down online all point to gaps we can't ignore. Over 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. face mental health challenges each year, according to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, yet access to care remains out of reach for many. Tonenson's live stream wasn't just a cry for help. It was a warning of what happens when those cries go unanswered. This case also raises questions about social media's role, amplifying personal crises to a public stage with no safety net. As we await the outcome of Tonenson's next hearing on May 14, 2025, we're left to wonder, could better mental health support have saved Olivia? Can we prevent the next tragedy? This story isn't just about a mother and daughter. It's a call to action for all of us to demand a system that catches those who are falling before it's too late. We've just walked through the heartbreaking story of Tonenson and Olivia Beltran, a tale of love, pain, and a tragedy that unfolded in real time on January 8, 2024. From a mother's unwavering fight for her daughter to a daughter's descent into a mental health crisis, this case leaves us with more questions than answers. What could have been done to save Olivia? How do we support those like Tonenson before it's too late? As we await the next chapter in this case, one thing is clear. This story is a wake-up call for all of us. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into one of the most haunting true crime cases of our time. If this story moved you, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe with notifications on for more true crime stories that spark real conversations. Check out our playlist for more cases like this. Next week, we're diving into another shocking story. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. Until then, take care of yourself, and let's keep pushing for a world where tragedies like this don't happen.